Okay, guys, we will start with the next topic, that is the scope of the subject. Okay, so yeah, when you see this topic, actually, this is not something which I want to discuss in the beginning, but since it is there in the syllabus, we are doing it here in that order. Otherwise, this is something which we need to cover. Actually, we don't want to cover. Once we complete the syllabus, then you will be able to write what is the scope of the subject, right? It's like you are asking me what is the scope of the subject. Will I be able to answer? It's exactly the same way. Once you complete this syllabus of sociology, what is the scope of sociology is nothing but the syllabus of sociology, right? That is the scope. That is what actually you are studying. So you will be saying that you will be studying family, you will be studying stratification or inequality, you will be studying social mobility, you are studying the caste system, you're studying tribes, you're studying the social change, you're studying politics, you're studying social movements. All these are part of sociology. So that is nothing but the scope of sociology. So there is no point in preparing an answer separately for this. Though I have given you an answer here, this is something like there's a go-to answer, guys. In case if you're not able to do it, just go with this. There's a best answer which you can write from your side. You can reproduce the same if it is asked. But guys, I don't want you to write exactly the same one, even though I've told you there's a best answer, because you will be able to write a very good answer. Trust me, once we're done with the sessions, you will be once you complete the syllabus, you will be able to write easily what is scope of subject, right? If you're not able to do that, then better don't give names. If you're not able to write this answer, just 1 minute, Leo. If you're not able to answer from your side what is the scope of the subject, then it is going to be very difficult for you to write the mains, right? So the idea here is I'll be talking about the scope, and this one comparison with other sciences, that I will not be discussing directly in this session, because that is something which you need to do it yourself. The comparison between, and why I'm keeping it like that is because anyway I have updated a video on this that you can watch. Otherwise, for example, they will ask you question sociology versus economy, right? Now this is a question which you will be able to answer once we complete the syllabus. What is economy? That we don't know. I don't want to teach you. You know what is economy, what economy study also, what is sociology, what we are studying in this, you will be writing, right? And then you will see the relations between these two. What are the differences, what are the similarities, how is it complementary, is there any contradiction, and all those things is what you need to write. But guys, you will be able to write it very easily once we're done with the thinkers, because if you see, one of the thinkers that we are going to discuss is Emile Durkheim. Now you may not be familiar with this guy, but trust me, later you will study something like division of labor. Now tell me which topic, which domain it will come. Is it economy or sociology? Division of labor, something which is introduced by Adam Smith to improve, the concepts is given by Adam Smith, right? That is clearly economy related topic. Productivity, profitability will increase, efficiency will increase, that's a function. But now when you study in sociology, when you study Durkheim, you will see the social dimension of division of labor. So that is what I want to tell you. Once we come across similarly his, this capitalism, Weber theory on capitalism, you will see how sociology and economy is connected. You will be able to write. Okay, how religion led to the establishment of capitalism. Guys, some of you may not understand all these things now if you're a fresher, but you don't want to worry. I'm just telling you the way you need to write answer for this question is not by studying an answer here right now. This is not the time to write answer for this question, though I'm giving an answer. This is something which you need to answer only after completing the syllabus. That's when you're going to get a good idea, and you will be able to write it in a very good way rather than wasting time in reading all these things today. Okay, so again, economics, Marx is an economist or a sociologist? Now that is a discussion that we will see again later in Marx. Okay, so there are a lot of connections. Marx is also talking about these economic concepts like capitalism, production, and all those things. Okay, similarly, psychology, sociology, philosophy, sociology, history, sociology, these kinds of questions they will ask you. The content I'll give you, that you just need to read it just before the exam, reproduce the same. Or you should be able to write it from your side, like the way I've told you now. And you will be capable of doing that once we complete thinkers and all other areas. Okay, so let's start with this topic now, scope of the subject. Now guys, I'll be talking about few thinkers here. These are thinkers that we are going to see in the coming sessions. So even if you're not able to understand some of the words that I'm using now, I may use these words like social action, social fact. These are there in your syllabus, and we are going to discuss all these in the coming sessions in Weber, Durkheim, etc. So I may be using all these words, but take it as a prelude to what we are going to do in future. This is just a glimpse of what you're going to do in future, because I am discussing what I am discussing the scope, and then I'll be discussing all these things in detail in the coming like 1.5 months. Okay, so even though it may sound difficult for you today, you may not be familiar with some of the words, but you don't want to worry about that. Everything will be clear once we proceed further. Okay, so guys, I'll be starting with the scope of the subject. For that, what we will do is we will discuss the scope in different phases. These are not something in general, we cannot generalize it, but just for the sake of writing an answer, I'm dividing different periods in the development of sociology. This is the initial phase, 1838 to 80, and then second phase, 80 to 40, third phase, and then fourth phase. Now, I'll tell you the thinkers that we are going to write in these different phases. First, if you see, obviously, we will be talking about Auguste Comte. Whenever you write this name, Auguste Comte, put a comma and write always the founding father of sociology or father of sociology. After that, when you're writing, you just need to write Auguste Comte, or even Comte will also be fine. But for the first time, when you're mentioning this name, completely Auguste Comte, comma, founding father of sociology or father of sociology. Then after that, whenever you are using this in the same answer, you can use simply Comte also. That's how. These are basic things. I don't think all these are required to be discussed. All of you know that, but if you are very new to this, that's when I'm supposed to discuss this. Okay. So guys, initial phase. Here I'll be discussing about Comte and then Spencer. These two thinkers, just keep these two in mind. I'll tell you what to write in the answer. One paragraph is what we need for this. One paragraph means you cannot go beyond 30 words. Okay, beyond 30 words you cannot afford to write these two, so you don't want to learn too much about the first phase. Second phase, in fact, you don't want to learn anything here, because here I'll be talking about Weber, and then we will be discussing about Durkheim. But these two are separately going to be covered in depth, in detail. For Weber, I'll be spending 4 days with you. Durkheim also, I'll be spending around 5 days with you. So something which we are going to cover in 9 session is what we are going to discuss in the coming 5 minutes. One paragraph, 40 words. Okay, guys. So obviously you will be facing some difficulty if you're a fresher, but don't mind that. Just need to have an idea. This is something that we are going to cover in future. Third phase is where we are going to discuss about Parson. Again, Parson, we will be spending around 3 days for Parson. Okay, and then Merton. Another 3 days we'll be spending for Merton. So something which we are going to spend 6 days, 6 sessions is what we are going to cover in another 5 minutes. And Parson is a very complicated, slightly difficult thinker. But we will discuss briefly about what is this idea. That's it. What his approach is, not idea. Idea we can't discuss even in the completely in the 3 sessions also. Okay. Now the fourth phase is now the postmodern approach and the so how sociology is developed. Now everything is connected with sociology. There is a feminist version, there is a subaltern version. All these things you will come to know. And then there is a clinical sociology. Sociology studying that areas also. Sociology of health, criminal sociology, something which was studied as criminology. Now there is a social element also incorporated, and criminal sociology, there is a branch. Okay, industrial sociology. So sociology, now what is that point that I want to tell you in the fourth phase or currently is sociology is permeating through each and every aspect of social life, and we are studying everything within sociology, whether it is politics, whether it is tribes or caste or class, inequality, right? Everything is coming under the domain of sociology. So the scope is widening and it will keep on widening. Okay, guys. Now here I'll be talking about these thinkers briefly now. When we discuss about the scope in the first phase, what Auguste Comte says is a sociologist or sociology should study social statics and social dynamics. Now, what is that? When you see your GS syllabus, what do you mean by static area? What is a dynamic area? Just think of that. It is the same. Static area is that fundamentals, right? History, geography, polity, economy. So there are something which is static. That is a structure of society when it comes to society. What is a dynamic area? Social change. There is a change which is happening every day, every now and then. So what sociologists should study? Social static, the structure, and the dynamics, that is a change. Like in case of your GS, the fundamentals and then the current affair, which is dynamic. Like that, you should be studying the static and the dynamic. Static means the structure of society. That you need to study. That is the static part. And then the social change. Okay, so structure and change, static and dynamic. That is what Comte says. And then Spencer, guys, all these guys initially they want to make it similar to natural sciences. So that inclination towards science was very much visible in their approaches. It is very crystal clear in their approaches. So they always try to follow what these natural science approaches, what are the methods which has been followed in that, what are the perspectives which are followed in that, and all those. That inclination was there because natural science is considered as something which is very superior at that point of time, not only among intellectuals, among the common people also. So that inclination was there in the minds of initial sociologists, but that is not there in future. So their approach, even Spencer compared sociology with like a biology or this society with an organism. How you study organism in natural science, the same way you can study society also. The way you can divide organism and different parts in organism, there are different parts in society also. Like there are some subsystems are there are groups, and ultimate reducible element is the individual. Like this, if you see, I'll come to that later. If you make a comparison, analogy between society and organism, what he says is the way you study organism, same way you can study society. You can break it into subsystems like educational system, economic system, political system, etc., just like organs in the body. Similarly, if you reduce it further, there will be groups in society like the way tissues are in body. And the ultimate reducible element when it comes to an organism is a cell, exactly like that in society it is individual. So my point here is he wanted to make it similar to natural science. He followed a macro approach. He wanted to go with a holistic understanding, and he wanted to study the interconnection between all the constituents of society. When I say constituents, what are they? The family, religion, caste, and all these are different constituents in the society. So the interconnection between all these in a holistic way need to be studied. That's the scope of sociology for Spencer. And then comes the second phase. Here, which two thinkers I'll be using, guys? I'll be using Weber, very important, and then I'll be using Durkheim. Now listen very carefully. When it comes to Durkheim, we are going to study a theory, social fact. So Durkheim defined the scope of sociology. I'll repeat it once again, and I'll keep on asking you the same thing again and again in the coming session. What is scope of for sociology for Durkheim? Study social facts. What is social fact? How to study social fact? Rules of studying social fact? Characteristics of social fact? All these I'll be discussing separately in the theory of social fact. Now, what you need? I'm just introducing this name, Durkheim. I'm also telling for him what is the scope of sociology. Study social facts. Now, don't break your heads, guys, by thinking what is social facts and all. If I explain now, you will not understand. If I give you the definition, social facts are the ways of acting, thinking, and feeling which are external to individual and are endowed with the power of coercion by the reason of which they control over him. If I say that, some of you may not understand at all. Some of you will get demotivated, right? So there is no point in me discussing what is social fact at this juncture. I hope I have made it very clear in the beginning of the session itself. I just want to introduce these words, these thinkers to you, so that you will be getting a clarity on what we are going to do in the coming sessions. So I'll be discussing about social fact in the coming session. That's what you need to understand now. That's part of sociology. That is how Durkheim defined the scope of sociology. If you have understood that, then just keep it aside. We will come back to this. Okay, study of social facts. And he followed a macro approach. Guys, what do you mean by macro? Initial sociologists, they followed a macro approach, macro perspective, taking society as supreme or giving importance to society, or it's a societal understanding, society centric understanding. A macro view need to be generated. On the other hand, during this time, now Weber will be coming with a micro approach. You should not be giving importance to society. The society is actually, the entire social formation is composed of various actions done by individual. So you have to study individual actions. So now he is reducing to the level of individual. That is what micro. So here society centric understanding, here individual centric understanding. Here you need to study social fact. Weber says you have to study social action. Social action done by individual. Each individual do social action will culminate into social formation, which is nothing but society. Okay, now what is social action? What are the conditions of social action? What are the types of social action? How to study social action? What are the methods to be used? Everything I'll be discussing later. Now I'm not discussing that because there are different types of action, 4 types of action. There are different methods to study. Okay, like ideal types, worst hand, all these can be asked as a separate question also. Here, what I want to tell you in one line, if I ask you, it is nothing but for Weber, the scope of sociology is to study social action. Continuing, you study social action. How you're going to study social action is like this. Understand the meanings attached by the actor to the action. Suppose I'm doing an action. First thing is that it need to be social action. It is a social action. You'll come to know that about that later. There are some conditions. So I'm doing a social action. So what need to be done to study this action? Understand the meaning attached by the actor. Like me, when I'm doing an action, what is the meaning inside? You have to understand that as a sociologist. So understand the meaning attached by the actor to the action is the fundamental aim of a sociologist. So what is scope of sociology for Weber? Study social action, understand the meanings attached by the actor to the action. Once you are able to understand the meanings attached by the actor to the action, then you will be able to predict the cause and effect relationship. So this is what you need to do. Study social action, establish the cause and effect. What is the cause of this action? What is going to be the effect of this action? Whether you guys will be cracking this exam, that may be the effect. What is the cause of this action? How can you understand the cause and effect? The best way to understand the cause and effect is to understand the meanings attached by the actor. So meanings attached by the actor. So you're studying the meanings, emotions, internal aspects of the individual. That's why it is micro. Perfect. Okay. So you have to establish the cause and effect, the how meanings attached by the actor to the action. That is why it is micro, because you are giving importance to meanings, motives, emotions, etc. On the other side, macro, you will not be concerned about the meanings or anything, only external reality. Okay, that's about Weber. Now, during this time, the followers of Durkheim and Weber, or the followers of macro and micro, 2 schools of thought, that is one following macro, the other following micro. Guys, this debate was there during that time. Now this debate is not there. People use micro and macro interchangeably based on their purpose, or combine it. Quantitative, qualitative methods, you will come to know about all these methods. Okay, positivism, non-positivism, scientific, humanistic, all these debates are no more there now. But in the beginning, that was there. Some of them belong to this school of thought, some of them belong to this school of thought. So those who follow this approach is what? Formal school. Those who follow this approach is what? Synthetic school. Okay, so when we talk about synthetic school, the main advocate is Durkheim. When we talk about formal school, main advocate is Weber. When we talk about formal school, they followed a micro view of society. They study the internal aspects. When we talk about synthetic school, they follow, or they have a macro view on reality. They give importance to society. Here, importance to individual. Okay. Now, after this, third phase, you will see combination of approaches like micro macro will be combined, scientific humanistic, inductive deductive approaches. Guys, when I use this word inductive, what is inductive approach? This is a method of theory building. It is actually followed by those who are wanted to make it similar to science. This is an approach which is followed in science, inductive approach. On the other hand, deductive approach is mostly in social science. So inductive approach mainly dealing with numbers. Deductive approach mainly deal with text. This is qualitative data, deductive. Here, quantitative data. Mainly, I'm not saying completely, but that's not the main difference. Connect inductive with quantitative, scientific. So dealing with numbers. Connect deductive with qualitative data, text, not dealing with numbers, emotions, meanings, etc. Now, inductive means you first collect the data, you have a topics to study. Okay, let's suppose one accident happened here, or continuously accidents are happening here. I want to study why this accident is happening. So what I'll do is I'll collect the data first. I'll collect the number. I'll collect the time period. Okay, the in which month these accidents are happening. So I'll collect all these data in terms of numbers, and then I will analyze, I will interpret, and then I'll make a theory, and then I will generalize it. Like it is due to monsoon. If it is, and it is more in June, so I can expect in next June this much accidents will happen. So here, not only a generalization, it also lead to prediction in case of inductive approach. Like when you see this physics and chemistry and biology and all, what those theories we are repeating that experiments in the lab, which is done by someone, Newton's theories, right? Newton laws. It is something which can be replicated. It will predict also, right? So that means initially they followed inductive approach, then come deductive approach in sociology. Deductive approach means you first make a hypothesis. Like you are studying the domestic violence, you make a hypothesis domestic violence is because of alcoholism, or domestic violence is because of dowry. So you first made the hypothesis, then you will conduct the investigation, and then you will prove that hypothesis is correct. But the problem with deductive approaches, there will be bias, subjective bias of the researcher, because you already made a point in the mind that it is because of you are a woman, you are conducting the investigation, and you are experiencing this domestic violence due to domestic, alcoholism. So you will be very much biased with that, and the way you collect data also will be biased with that. So that is a problem with deductive approach. That is not the problem in inductive approach. That is an advantage. In case of inductive approach, chances of bias is very less because you are not having anything in the mind already. But here that's not the case. I hope it is done. We will discuss more about this in the coming sessions as well. Okay, now the third phase is all about integration. So Parson combined micro, macro, Merton, and all these thinkers are combining different approaches. Fourth phase is further development of sociology. Like I've told you, it is permeating through each and every aspect of social life, sociology of health, clinical sociology, criminal sociology, and all these domains are added to sociology. Now, guys, think about this. Don't you think that this is enough for you to write a beautiful answer? Now, understand this question will be of 10 marker scope of sociology. Even if it is 20 marker, what you need, you just need maximum 250 words. You don't want anything beyond that. Maximum you need is 250 words. And if it is 10 marker, you need 125 to 140 words. This is what you need. And how much you can read. See the cost benefit analysis. If this is what you need, why you want to read 100, thousands and 2,000 words and unnecessarily making things complicated? If you can reproduce the same thing for this answer, you will be getting very good score, right? But again, this question, as I have told you, you don't want to prepare from this. You can automatically, this is something which will come from within, right? If I am writing an answer for this, I may deviate from all these things that I've discussed with you. I may talk about so much of other things. I may bring Marx theories, Durkheim's theories, Weber's theories. Okay, so these things I've studied in sociology, and I'll write like that. That we will discuss when we discuss about the thinkers. Guys, any doubts so far? Or let me complete the PDF and then we can take up the doubts. I hope things are clear so far. Whatever doubts you have, you can just message me. Okay. Okay, guys. Now, let me tell you one thing. First chapter and second chapter, any question you are getting, you will be talking about emergence of sociology. First line that you're talking about is emergence of sociology. Everything that we have discussed in the previous session, you need to write in one line. How are you going to write that? There's a line that you need to just mug it up now itself. Sociology emerged as a distinct discipline in response to challenges posed before modernity in medieval Europe. So we have discussed about modernity. We have discussed about challenges associated with modernity. We have also told that it is in medieval Europe and as a response to all these challenges. We have captured everything. Okay, so this line is something which you just need to mug it up. Any question, whether sociology, common sense, sociology, economics, whatever they're asking, this is a line which has to be there in the answer. Initially, sociology was understood as a discipline which will help in understanding the changes in society, right? Modernity, associated changes, the context was set, and sociology emerged to study the changes, provide the solution, predict the future. Interpretive discipline, why you are asking now? We are following a syllabus, right? This is something which is going to be discussed in non-positivism, interpretive discipline. Interpretive sociology, that we have to discuss in future, right? Here, what is the context in which you're asking that here? We are following an order, so let's guys, please, this is one thing that I want to tell you. In case if you want to ask these something extra, do it towards the end. In between, if you're asking the other students, the freshers may get confused. Okay, so not only confused, and it will be like something which is very new. These are things that we'll be doing in future, obviously. Okay. Initial sociologists intended to develop sociology on the line similar to natural science. Okay, guys, you know that. I've told this many times. That obsession, that influence of natural science was very much there, very much evident, right? And the scope of sociology is gradually widening. In order to be scientific discipline, you need to define the scope very clearly. So this is how, guys, this is not a generalized, division, but we can do it to make it simple so that we'll get good 4 paragraphs. Okay, and always try to write in paragraph, guys. Okay, when you're writing the answer, always show that maturity. Write in paragraph. You will never see a sociologist who's writing any book or anything or any article in bullet points. So always write answers in paragraph. If it is 20 marker, 10 marker, some of the questions you can write in bullet points, but you have to respect the question based on the, it depends on the question, right? Some of the questions you will see sociology versus economy, then write the bullet points or you make table and it's fine. But normally you have to write in paragraph. Initially, the sociologists attempted to understand society as a whole in terms of macro units. Auguste Comte, the father of sociology, this is what I've told you. Whenever you write this name, first time you will have to use. Again, when I'm writing, do I need to write complete name? Not necessary. Not necessary. I can even write Comte also. Okay. The father of sociology, in his book Course of Positive Philosophy and System of Positive Polity, delineated, means separated, differentiated the scope of sociology into social statics and social dynamics. So social static is the basic factor or the order or the structure which give every system its stability, and the dynamics is the inevitable evolutionary development of all. It means the change. Evolutionary development means social change. Okay. Social static, the structure, social dynamic is the change. Now, do you remember paper 2? I've told you to buy a book, K.L. Sharma, Social Structure and Change. It is nothing but social dynamics and social static. Comte argued for framing laws of social organization in order to make it as a scientific discipline. Herbert Spencer, in his book, blah, blah, this is something which you can write. Using a macro perspective, he delineated the scope of sociology in terms of its macro units like family, politics, religion, industry, associations, etc. His scope is more descriptive in nature, and he wanted to study the interrelationship among all these different elements, connected together, woven together in some intricate yet meaningful pattern. All these things are connected in an intricate manner, but there is a meaning and purpose for all these that you need to study. And he made a comparison like this that also you can draw. Thus, initially, the scope of sociology is based on macro-humanistic view. The social investigation work to be conducted in an inductive approach. I've told you initial sociologists were inclined towards science, so inductive approach is what they have followed. After 80, the scope of sociology was further widened by Weber by introducing a micro perspective. According to him, sociology is a science which study social action taken by individual, and what you will do, arrive at the explanation of cause and effect. Guys, cause and effect means what? Something happened, there will be a cause. For everything, there will be a cause. You are rich, there will be a cause. You are poor, there will be a cause. You crack this exam, there will be a cause. So you are obese, there will be a cause. If you are healthy, cause is there. If you're unhealthy, still cause is there. Right? Nothing will come just like that. So for everything, there is a cause and effect. You need to study that. For him, understanding the meanings attached by the actor, whose action is the basic scope. Okay, so you have to study action. You have to establish cause and effect. How? By understanding the meaning. Now, if you need to understand the cause and effect of the action that I am doing, what do you need to do? You have to understand the meaning that the actor is attaching for this action. That is the best way. How to understand the meaning, what methods to be used. There are multiple methods, Verstehen, ideal types, and all those things we will discuss in future. Okay. Emile Durkheim delineated sociology as a study of social facts. Yeah, okay. You attended the previous batch also, right? Okay. Yeah, someone is saying that now it is getting more and more clear. Last time he was a fresher. He also attended the previous batch, so he wanted to attend this batch also. So it is more clear like that. Emile Durkheim delineated sociology as a study of social facts. This I have discussed already. He proposed a macro view for identifying elements qualified to be social facts. Okay, what are social facts and everything I'll discuss guys later. During this period, it is this period. Guys, some spelling mistakes are there, but you will be able to know that once you read it. Okay. During this period, two books, Methods of Social Science by Weber, Rules of Sociological Method by Durkheim, played a significant role in explaining the scope of sociology. Towards the end of 19th century and the beginning of 20th century, sociology came to be taught as a discipline in different universities of Europe and America. During these periods, scope of sociology came to be understood in terms of, or in two schools, like formal school, they are the followers of micro. Synthetic school, they are the followers of macro. Now, mainly you need to talk about Durkheim and Weber. I'll give you a few other names also, very much optional, not necessary. We will be seeing those names in future also, okay, but not that significant names. Formal school followed a micro perspective and took a limited view on the scope of sociology. According to them, sociology should confine itself to describing, classifying, and analyzing the micro units like activities, actions, emotions, relationships, etc. Like Weber, Virkan, von Weiss identified the scope in terms of fundamental social process, that is a ways of interaction. Okay, yeah. Just read this, guys. Any one or two you can take from that. Synthetic school. According to this, scope of sociology is to concentrate on macro phenomena. According to them, the relevance of a particular social phenomena must be understood in the context of wider reality. It emphasizes on studying society as a whole. Durkheim identified the scope in terms of three principal divisions: social morphology, social physiology, general sociology. Just read this paragraph, guys. Nothing important in that. Karl Mannheim divided into two: general sociology, historical sociology. If possible, just write that name, that's it. Okay. After 1940s, now we are going to talk about the third phase. The scope. Now, third phase, this discussion, this debate is no more there, whether you belong to micro or macro, inductive, deductive, no such debate. Everybody use everything. Okay. The scope of sociology was further enriched by the use of combination of micro and macro. Parson, in his book, The Structure of Social Action and the Social System, will be studying all these guys, all these books and everything. Dismantle the dichotomy between micro and macro and developed an integrated view. Dismantle means it's over. Dichotomy between micro macro. So he said we need to combine it, because if you're following micro, you are ignoring one thing, society. For any action that you are doing, there is an influence of society. So you cannot simply study the individual meaning. I am doing an action, there is an influence of society, right? Similarly, it is not only the influence of society, individuals' motivation is also very important. That's why I'm doing it. Otherwise, I could have easily slept, right? I'm taking this the fourth session since 3 o'clock. So, why you need to do that? Individual motivation is very much important, right? According to him, sociology should aim at developing generalized theories. Okay, and what is this generalized theory and everything you will see in the coming sessions. Similarly, Robert Merton proposed development of middle range theories by studying middle range phenomena. Karl Popper combined inductive and deductive approach. Now you will see combination of different approaches. You just need to name and tell. C. Wright Mills combined scientific and humanistic approach, and then there are different perspectives like structuralism, phenomenology. We will do day after tomorrow. Ethnomethodology also will do day after tomorrow. Harold Garfinkel. Don't worry about this name. Once we're done with this thinker, you will never forget this name. So the spelling mistake is there. Recently, with the emergence of postmodern approach, the trend towards multidisciplinary view of scope is visible. New fields of study are being gradually added to the sociology, which are traditionally not considered part of it. For example, sociology of health, criminal sociology, clinical sociology, all are coming now into sociology. So the scope is gradually widening, and it is also made possible due to incorporation of different methodologies. Now, guys, I've just mentioned methodologies here. Why I'm not explaining it here is because you're going to learn a lot. Okay, and you will be discussing different methods also. Similarly, I'm talking about perspectives. I'm not discussing about perspective in detail except these two, because you are going to learn everything. All these need to be incorporated in your answer. The methods that you're studying in sociology. Okay, when it comes to Durkheim, you will study multivariate analysis, indirect experiment, like that, causal functional approach. When you study Weber, you will come across Verstehen, causal pluralism, ideal types, comparative analysis. So different approaches you will come across, different methods you will come across. All these things need to be added in the scope. Because of all these, only the scope is getting widened. And then more perspectives. Functional perspective by Durkheim and other thinkers, you will come to know. Conflict by Marx and future Marxist and neo-Marxist and others. And then different other perspectives, structuralism, postmodern approach, feminist perspective, and all these things is widening the scope. Okay. Now, what is this positivist quantitative methodology? We will discuss day after tomorrow. Initial approach in sociology relied heavily on empirical reality, where non-positivism study. It is nothing but Durkheim's approach. Non-positivism is similar to Weber's approach. They followed internal, hidden, and abstract aspect within the scope. So this is nothing but macro. This is micro. This is synthetic. This is formal. Okay. Other aspects of methodology, like different methods of data collection, inductive, deductive approach, also seen in the similar way. So, guys, I have talked about so much of things today. I've discussed about Comte, I've discussed about Spencer, I've discussed about Durkheim, Weber, Parson, Merton, Popper, C. Wright Mills, right? Phenomenology, ethnomethodology, inductive, deductive, positivism, non-positivism, functional, conflict, scientific, humanistic, qualitative, quantitative. All these things are going to be covered in the coming sessions. So it is full of, so much of new words which may not be familiar to you. You don't want to worry about that. Just stick to that. There's a scope. These are the 4 phases. If I get a question, I'll reproduce the same. Otherwise, I'll write it from my own. If you know the subject, obviously you'll come to know the subject, and you will write, trust me, you will be writing better answer than what we have discussed. All these contents will be the same, but you will be able to write in very good language. Your language will be very much important. Automatically you have to develop that language, no? So guys, that's it. That's what I want to discuss today, and tomorrow I'll be discussing common sense. Whatever doubts you have, you can discuss. I'll be having 10 more minutes with you now.
Yeah. Hi, sir. This is Parchuram.
Tell me.
Yeah, sir. That regarding that, compare with other subject. In C1, is there related any question related to that?
Questions related to all is given in C. Whatever I have discussed in paper, this chapter 1, when you go to C1, you will get all the questions. C1, it is the material, the answers and everything. Questions, if you need to see, you C1, C2 questions. That's where you need to search.
So, sir, now we need to, shall we write this answer, because you told us that after completing some lectures, we are able to write that comparison between the all subject. So, if so it is necessary to write these questions, attending these questions now, or after some time we can attend the questions.
See, now if you are attending, it will be difficult for you. You need to
Yes.
spend time. You need to mug it up. I don't want you to mug up anything in sociology. There are things that you need to do, that very small, little, some minimum things are there. That is a theory and the definitions. Otherwise, you don't want to. These are very like elementary, silly things. Later, you will realize that why I need to spend time in memorizing all these things. This is absolute waste of time.
Okay.
Now you may feel like you are pressure. You want to learn. You are in that in that mood, right? So that you can learn it. But it is absolutely waste of time and meaningless if you are mugging up things now.
Yes, sir.
It is of no use. You will forget it also just like that. If you are planning to mug up these topics, do it just before the exam. That's it.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Because these are of no use for you. No use in any way. Yeah. Only for that topic you are studying and end of it. Other areas which is going to help you a lot in many other areas as well.
Okay, sir.
Yeah.
Good evening, sir.
Yeah, tell me.
Sir, I wanted to ask, sir, is our modernity and social change in Europe and emergence of sociology topic is completed yet?
Yes. That syllabus, what is given, that is what we have discussed. That is what required. That intellectual background I'll discuss when we discuss the questions, because that clear answer is given over there.
Sir, but in previous year there are some another question related to different type of question was came last
There
year.
was 1 year, in 1 year they have asked about question related to American, but you have nothing to do with that. In that question, if that question is asked, it is indirect, but still you will be mentioning, you will be able to write it from the side of Mead, Parson, Merton, those developments, and some of the other developments that you come across in the in the coming sessions. Otherwise, you cannot specifically prepare that and write. But these two, modernity, emergence, that is what the syllabus. That is what we can do. And that is the reason why I have told you, if you need to know everything related to that, read the TB Bottomore. But is it TB
I did
Bottomore?
not understand, sir, what you are saying, sir. The question was same which you are saying, USA approach all.
Yes.
But sir, how we can approach this question from this content?
No, it is very difficult. That is what I'm saying, that you can read TB Bottomore, from there you will get, or when we proceed further, when we will studying Merton, Parson, Mead, their contribution, based on that you need to write, because the question was related to, it is flourished in USS related to that.
Yes,
so Parson's contribution, Merton's contribution, Mead's contribution, that is what you can write, and you will be getting mark. There is no problem in which you will be leaving that.
Okay. Sir, there are some also questions from the question related to sociology was emerged due to conservative reaction of modernity. Sir,
it is from the same content you can write, and you see the answers in C1 section. All these I've discussed over there. Conservative reaction means the intellectuals reaction. It is nothing but intellectual background. All these changes have happened. So how intellectuals took it, these social changes. So that reaction, that is what we are discussing over there.
Sir, in this type of question, we have to talk about mainly French Revolution or Industrial Revolution and Renaissance.
All Renaissance period, modernity, social changes, and the reactions of intellectuals. It is the same only. It is actually the same question.
Okay, sir. Two more questions related to first topic. Sir, I did not understand. Sir, first of all, they are asking previous year one question related to two questions. Sir, expanding scope of sociology, expanding, and second limitation of limited scope of sociology. Two questions, sir.
So,
sir,
what do you want to say?
Sir, I did not understand the limited scope of sociology.
The scope of sociology is limited. That is why you are studying sociology. Otherwise, you would have gone for history because you need to study so vast. Scope of sociology means it is actually limited, but at the same time, I can tell that it is getting into every area. But there are obvious limitations. We are not able to study different other areas, right? Can we study? When you talk about limitations, you talk about other subjects, and we cannot get into that. When you talk
No,
about
sir,
expanding,
this is a previous year question, sir.
that's what I understood the question, right? So
Yes, sir, sir.
there's a very subjective question. You need to write based on your knowledge that you're going to develop through the completion of the syllabus. A very subjective question, and there is no fixed answer for these questions. But these are easy, very easy questions, right? If somebody is asking you how is it expanding, you should be in a position to tell that we are studying all these things. This is how it started, and this is how it reached now. This is completely expanding. But what are the limits? Why we can't get into these areas? It cannot be mathematics. We cannot study like maths. It cannot be objective. There are limitations in theories, right? So just wait for the coming sessions. Will be age of enlightenment and renaissance period. It is the same. That age, that period is what age of enlightenment and renaissance period. Modernity is an ideology which is related to this, ideas of science and logic, reason, and everything, which is having different dimensions.
Okay, sir. Sir, sociological imagination connected with McDonaldization.
Please, these questions you don't want to discuss now. That is connected with C. Wright Mills.
Yes,
Sociological imagination thoughts. Here we don't want to discuss all those things.
Okay, sorry, sir.
When it comes to the
Okay, sir. Sorry.
appropriate time, we'll discuss that.
Okay, sir. Sorry.
Even actually, that is not even connected with your syllabus, but they can ask you. Since they can ask you, I'll discuss that in the.
Sir, this question was asking UPSC by Unit 1.
In
Unit 1, UPSC asked.
That actually coming from Unit 2, related to different approaches. I don't know, from Unit 1, maybe you can. I have mentioned in scope of sociology also, somewhere here I have mentioned about C. Wright Mills here, sociological imagination approach. But I'll be discussing this. In fact, C1, I have answered this question also. Okay. But now it is not the time to discuss. We will do that.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Hello, sir. Sir, I am completely fresher. I found a little bit difficult in first two classes itself as per reading your PDF. Is it okay, sir? Like I found some of the words very difficult.
Keep on. You need to keep on reading it. You have to make it very familiar to you, because this is what ultimately you're going to deal in. In next 1 or 2 or maybe 3 years. This is what you have to stick to, and you have to keep on reading it, and it have to be integrated into your mindset. And this is what you are going to write. This is a kind of language that you're going to use. So you have no other way.
Yes, sir. Along with sociological words, is it okay? Is it okay to use our own words, sir? Like to write in our own language?
You need to develop your own language revolving around these contents that I'm discussing. It should revolve around this.
So is there no need to mug up right now, sir?
No need to mug up. No need to reproduce exactly the same, but it have to revolve around this main theme.
Hello,
Okay.
sir.
Yes.
Sir, please tell the way forward for optional till prelims.
If you are giving prelims this year, that's what I'm saying. Focus on prelims. That is more important. These subject you can do it after the prelims also. No problem. And if you are going to clear prelims, I can sit with you and I can help you a lot also. So that is not a big problem for you. Okay.
Yes,
so focus on your prelims. That is very important. Solve maximum questions. Every day, one question paper, 100 question you solve. And
Yes,
then
sir,
sit
I'm
for
doing
1
right.
hour for the class, 1 hour for the class, and another 30-45 minutes.
Yes, sir. That's what I am doing.
No need to go beyond that.
Yes.
Okay, guys. So can we stop here?
Okay, sir.
See you tomorrow, guys. Okay.